Hey, my favorite Kratomites. This is Chris Irving from, sorry about that, a little jiggle, from Knoxville, Tennessee. And I am a Kratom, God, I can't think. I'm very pro Kratom. And today I wanted to talk to you about why Kratom is so much better than coffee for you. And ironically, I just made this entire video already, but I did it with a script, which, fuck that, I don't do scripts. Whatever I tell you straight from the heart and from experience. The very first thing that I like more about Kratom than coffee is coffee tends to give me overstimulation. It's really hard to measure, because you drink a cup of coffee and your heart rate could be racing. But if you drink a cup of Kratom, your heart rate will speed up slightly, but not nearly as crazy as a cup of coffee. And the second thing about it is Kratom is a hell of a lot healthier for you than coffee, because coffee, coming from coffee plantations and stuff, they're putting all kinds of pesticides, and it's not very organic. Where all the farmers that I deal with in Indonesia are all organic farmers. Very small farms. They have trees on their land, and the trees all have their Kratom trees. So they go out themselves and they pick the best leaves and they put them in a bag, and then they take that bag and they bring it out to a field and they lay it all out to dry. Then they run it through a powder mill to turn it into the powder that we know and use. Sometimes you can get it into a crushed leaf, which that's how I started, but I didn't get as much of the alkaloids from it. And so and with Kratom you do still get stimulation. I don't need coffee when I drink Kratom. And if I do have Kratom and coffee, it sometimes is too much for me. So I'll just either have one or the other. And generally I don't drink much coffee anymore, which is probably saving my heart, because I have to take a medication called propranolol if I do have too much coffee, because it slows my heart rate down, lowers my blood pressure. And so we've got the health, we've got the plus. When you're drinking when you're drinking Kratom, you're supporting local farmers in Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, the Philippines. These are very poor farmers and who just happen to luck out and have Kratom trees on their plantation, and they work for themselves. Their whole family is out there picking leaves and doing whatever. Excuse me, I gotta. Other great things about Kratom, is coffee doesn't give you euphoria. You can drink as much coffee as you want, and it's not going to give you that nice, warm, euphoric feeling. It's going to just make you feel stimulated. And it's a lot easier to control how much euphoria you want, because you can just keep sipping more and sip it slowly, and then that euphoria creeps up on you, and then all of a sudden and then when that euphoria is there, it makes you in a much more creative mode, which is why I'm constantly drinking it when I'm making videos, because it makes me more creative, and it honestly makes me a better person. I just interviewed my mom, who's known me for all 51 years of my life, and she said since I started drinking Kratom, I am a different person. Pre-stroke, I was high ADHD, hyperactive, because I was going to college full-time, working full-time as a teacher. Pardon me. And just go. I talked a million miles an hour, and now I'm able to slow down, enjoy life, not be in any pain. And from what I understand, coffee doesn't take away pain. Coffee will push you through to help you work faster and harder, maybe. But that's why the Indonesians and Vietnamese and Thailanders drink Kratom, is because it gives them the energy and the pain-freeness to work all night long. And one cool thing that they do is they'll take a leaf And instead of making a tea out of it or whatever, or even just tossing and washing it, they'll just take a leaf, fold it up, put it in their mouth, and chew on it, and get all the alkaloids that way. And one thing I saw when I was watching one video was they took a leaf and he folded it and he put about one cube of sugar in it, like a sugar cube amount of sugar in it, and then folded it all up and put it in his mouth and chewed it. And his idea was, kratom tastes terrible, so you get a little rush from the sugar, and you get a little rush and a lot of rush from the kratom. And kratom plantations are generally organic. They don't use a lot of pesticides. For one, they can't afford them, and they don't need to. These are trees. These are full-blown trees. These aren't coffee bean bushes. These are that they spray with who knows what. I mean, these are organic farmers in very small countries and in Southeast Asia, and they're wonderful people. I would much rather support a Indonesian kratom farmer than I would Folgers, because Folgers is a major Procter & Gamble corporation that tests on animals, uses pesticides and fertilizers that we don't know what that does to it, just because they want more plant. And because of it, the quality of coffee you're getting sucks. If I do drink coffee, I drink a flavored coffee called Jamaican Me Crazy, and it's from the Blue Mountains of Jamaica, hand-picked coffee. It's about $50 a pound, but for me, and it's got a flavoring to it. It's got like a rum, chocolate, coconut flavor to it, which it's very Caribbean tasting, and I love it. I drink it as a dessert, but I don't drink it for energy, because I use kratom for that. And with kratom, you get more euphoria, which means you can become more creative, and you want to do more. You can do more creative things, and it slows your mind down, gives you better ideas, and it's so much healthier for you. It works on the opiate receptors on your brain, which goes straight to the source. Where coffee, it goes through your bloodstream and then it hits your brain and it stimulates it and makes it spin, and anxiety and all that stuff. Where kratom, it'll actually get away from your depression. I take a lot of antidepressants, and I've stopped taking 2 of them since I started drinking kratom more, because I don't find I need them. And this morning I've had about 3 cups of kratom, and I feel like it's about probably the equivalent of a pot of coffee, but I'm not all anxious and flying and bouncing off the walls. I'm just Chris. So I needed to write this down, because there's a few people I want to call out to, because you guys watch every single video I've made, and you watch it from beginning to end, and you give me really good ideas for new videos, and you give me a lot of really quality comments that shows that you have actually watched the video, and I really appreciate that. Number 1 is not, these are in no specific order, these are just ones that I've noticed the most. Ban Everything. I love the name. It's awesome. It's very punk rock, and I'm very punk rock. He's the one that gives me the different vendors. He just recommended I do one called Star Kratom, and I did some research on them, and $99 for a kilo of kratom and free shipping, and he said that they ship right away, that he didn't have to wait very long at all for it, which with Moon Kratom I did have to wait a little bit of time to get the order in. Then there's Slushy. Slushy is a really cool person. He comments all the time, calls me his friend, and which I really appreciate that, because I have no friends in Knoxville, and I could use friends around the world. And then there's another name, I'm gonna tear it up. It's either Javier Yaman or Xavier Yaman, and he also comments about every video. And then one of my favorites, Tamara Merez, just a very sweet person with very sweet comments, and kind of helps me out, realizing that I do have friends out in the world, you know, giving me positive affirmations. And so, and you four are not the only ones. There's probably a lot more, but these are the four that just stick in my mind the most. And I really appreciate all four of you. Yeah, there's four. So anyway, this is a 10-minute video, and I'm going to cut it off here. I hope you understand that there is a difference between kratom and coffee. And if you do, you can add a little tiny bit of caffeine to your kratom. They sell it everywhere. You can buy caffeine pills anywhere. Crush it up in a pestle and mortar and sprinkle it in your kratom. But I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, kratom gives you enough stimulation if you drink enough of it. And if your tolerance isn't too high. So, everybody, I hope you're having an amazing week. And I don't even know what today is. Computer, what day is it?
Today is Thursday, February 17th.
So, today's Thursday, so the weekend's coming up. I hope y'all have an amazing weekend. Peace out. I'll talk to you guys in the next video.